Hey guys, and welcome to Amaz's second card review for the Whispers of the Old Gods cards. And of course, if you are watching this on Twitch chat right now, you should let me know what you think each Amaz scoring scale card is. Of course, we're going to rate each card in Constructed and in Arena out of 10 based on the first impressions. And we will do a final review when all the cards come out and just some scores. But for now, we'll go over this, okay? So once again, 0 is a Failfish, but 10 is a Craigasm. And of course, that's a card, right? So there you go. Once again, yeah, based on what we know so far. So let's go ahead and start with 9 cards first today. Very, very cool. First card, we have the very cute 1 mana 1/1 little Tentacle of N'Zoth. Or N'Zoth, yes. You battle cry, you deal 1 damage. No, Death Rider, you deal 1 damage to all minions. So it's kind of like a whirlwind when it dies. It's a 1/1. And yeah, we really can't really tell the extent of this power because we don't know how much support it is getting. You know, Patron decks might go crazy with this card. You never know. You know, you just play this and then you play Patron afterwards. Something like that. You also don't know if Paladins are going to be anywhere near as popular. Since Muster is going to get a nerf, and Paladins don't seem like they're getting too many crazy cards to summon a lot of 1/1s. We're gonna go ahead and start this card off with a 2 out of 10. Doesn't seem like you're gonna see play, at least right now, with Paladins out of the picture. It's just that like it doesn't really fit anywhere, right? You wouldn't even play an Arena deck. You would just play like an AoE instead. Just the fact that you play this and you need to activate it as well, and the effect is only deal 1 damage, makes this not as good as Explosive Shape, right? Some Reno mages play Explosive Shape to ping it off, and even Freeze mages sometimes play Explosive Shape to ping it off. But like 1 damage is very insignificant, doesn't even kill your Knife Jugglers and your aggro cards and your Hunter minions. So it doesn't seem like it's that good. In Arena, it's actually not bad. I mean, it's like a 1 mana 2/1, right? That has an extra effect. So for example, if your opponent plays, you know, a Leper Gnome or whatnot, they actually have to trade against this because if they play Leper Gnome, you play this card, Tentacle, they cannot play a Knife Juggler and go face, right? They have to trade. Otherwise, your Tentacle smashes the Knife Juggler, everything explodes, you kill everything. So in a sense, it's kind of like a 2/1 taunt. Late game is a little bit worse. So that's why in Arena it's not too good. But if you treat it as just like a normal 1 drop, it's actually not bad. So, not bad. Alright. Oh, whoa. Oh, like that. Whoops. That is a little bit better. Alright. My cam is in the right place now. Perfect. Thanks for reminding me, guys. Alright, next one we have is the another 1 mana card, a 1 mana 1/1 again, N'Zoth's First Mate. And when I first read that card, I thought it was something to do with like, you know, waifu material or something. But no, First Mate means like first matey, pirate kind of, you know. So it is a Silithid, I'm assuming. It looks like a Silithid to me at least. Yeah. Yep, looks like a Silithid to me. It's a 1 mana 1/1 that equips a 1/3, so it's basically a free upgrade. Nobody plays upgrade, but it's basically is the upgrade card. And yeah, you compare it to Light's Justice. You lose 1 durability, but you get a 1 mana 1/1 body instead. And you kind of compare it to Muster for Battle, right? Where instead of getting like 4 1/1s, Muster for Battle gives you a charger. So in a sense, this is 1 mana 1/1, summon a 1/1 charge minion. Kind of comparable to Elven Archer as well in that case. So, you know, keeping all those in mind, I am going to give this a 5 out of 10 in Constructed. It's really good against aggro. If there's a lot of aggros, then you would play this. You would play this already in a Reno Warrior, for example. But whether you play this in like a Control Warrior, whether you play this in a Dragon Warrior, remains to be seen. It does make Execute way better. We don't see a lot of 1 mana 1 mana cards to deal 1 damage without giving you like an extra thing. But the fact that like when you play this, you can't play a War Axe over it, or you could, but it loses value, or the other way around, right? When you play War Axe, you can't play this to override it. It's kind of like awkward that way. So yeah, you just need to like balance out the number of weapons because at the end of the day, this is still a 1 drop. Warriors At least the higher end ones, like mid-range warriors are not that common, but control warriors, they want more big bombs, right? In the late game, you do not want to top deck this card. It's actually really bad. So you have to be very careful with this. In Arena, it's really good. It's kind of like Light's Justice, right? Light's Justice is a very decent pick in Arena. You just start smacking in stuff. It's the only card that, it's the only 1 mana card that deals 4 damage that can be split, right? This is kind of like the same thing. It is 1 mana card that can deal 4 damage that can be split. So pretty high in that sense. Plus, it gives you a 1 mana 1/1. So when you split a 1/4 into 2 bodies, is actually much better. So this gets a higher. It is much better than Light's Justice. And yeah. Now, you would not be unhappy about this card, but just remember, don't draft too much of these, right? Your weapons do overwrite each other. So just remember that. All right, we have the next card is the is the other Faceless we're getting. It's a cheaper Faceless Shambler, 4 mana or 1/1, taunt battlecry copy a friendly minion's attack and health. So what it does, it's basically a self-faceless, and you get an extra taunt on top of that effect. However, it is not exactly the same as Faceless Manipulator because it can get silenced. When it gets silenced, it gets turned into 1/1, and it's going to look very stupid, just like what it is in the picture. I mean, he looks kind of sad, but he looks pretty stupid when it's a 1/1. What are the synergies? Synergies are, the first one that comes to mind is Eerie Statue, right? A 4 mana, you copy something, you get a 7/7 taunt. Or maybe you cast it on a dragon, you get a 4/12 taunt. But then the problem is that you have to have a minion in play. If you don't, it's a 4 mana 1/1. So 50% of the time, I guess you can kind of say that is really bad. If you can combo it with something like Ancient Watcher, you're just playing a 4 mana 4/5 taunt. And that's not really anything special, right? The fact that it can actually get screwed over by silence is really, really sad. So I'm just going to give this a 1/10. The only deck that could possibly see play with this is going to be Handlock, right? When you copy something like a Mountain Giant or like a Molten Giant or something like that. But even then, like, do you really want to play a third Mountain Giant that sometimes doesn't work? Do you really want to play a third Molten Giant that sometimes doesn't work? I feel like there's like, you just, like, when you look at the Handlock list, it's actually so filled with cards that are necessary, right? Like, the current list do have, like, Healbots and Belchers that might get replaced with something, right? But, like, every card is so good by itself, right? That, like, you do not need any more, like, situational cards. So even then, I still think it's not going to be played. It's just, too many things have to happen, right? You have to have a minion on the board. Your opponent has to not have silence. That's just too much. It's way too much. In Arena, same thing. It's still really, really difficult. It's a little bit better because when you have something like a Force Tank Max that sticks, you can actually give this taunt. And the taunt clause is very relevant in Arena, right? Because taunt is good. You want to protect your aggro minions, and you want your opponent to actually do less good trades on, big creatures, but still very, very hard to play correctly. Not a decent pick in Arena. All right, next card is the Undercity Huckster. I have no idea what a Huckster is. What a weird card, and he's kind of like showing you his stuff there, or maybe it's a her. I can't really tell. It's a 2 mana 2/2 that Death Rattles mini burgles your opponents, and of course burgle is at 2 random class cards from your opponent's class. This is a mini burgle, and when you compare it to a Novice Engineer or a Loot Hoarder, oh my god, this is a good card. It's kind of comparable to Dark Peddler as well, right? I mean, this has kind of like the Dark Peddler kind of feel, where it's a 2 mana 2/2 draw card. But the fact that this is not a 1 mana card and you can't choose is a little bit of a problem, right? It's a little bit of a problem. There are enough class cards that are kind of bad as well. So in the constructed, let's give it a 4/10. It's still really, really good in the fact that it's a 2 mana 2/2 cantrip. And sometimes maybe in Temple Mage, who knows? Temple Mage might be a thing, right? You would want to play this because half the time you just steamroll your opponent. You might get it like your Tyrians and your Lightning Storms and your Fireball, Flame Strikes and whatnot. But then after half the time, it's not that good. But the body is good enough that, it might be quite relevant. In Arena, it's insane. I will always pick this card in Arena. Oh my god, Rogue is going to be even more insane in Arena. Why would you not want a 2/2 that draws you an above average card, right? In Arena, you're drafting cards already, and sometimes, your drafts are not that good. This one, holy jeez, if you just organize all the class cards, they're above average, right? Compared to a neutral card, you would draft this every single time. So good. So freaking good. Draft it as a Rogue. Rogue is just going to be more insane. Rogue is really backstab and eviscerate and your tomb pillages and whatnot. Like with this inclusion, Rogue is gonna be number 1 in Arena. Like even better than Paladins. Paladins get stand against darkness. Like who wants to play a 5 mana 5/1/1s? Like you would rather play this card instead. So good. All right. Oh, and just to clarify for the people who might be confused, this is a Rogue only card. Okay, Rogue only card. If this was if it's a neutral card, that'd be insane. Alright, next card we have the cutesy Brood of N'Zoth. Oh, can we get a Bible Thump for this one? It's a 3 mana 2 to give your minions Death Rattle. It dies, it gives your minion +1/+1. So it's kind of like a Power of the Wild when it dies. Well, in that case, it's really good, right? It's a 1 mana 2/2, and you get a free Power of the Wild that's basically literally 2 mana, right? Like this is literally the cutest thing. Unfortunately, cute things are disenchantable. In Constructor, you're not gonna see this. There's no way. It's a 2/2 that when it dies, it gives your minions a bonus, which means you have to have minions. You have to have your opponent kill this, or you have to have your opponent kind of like get overwhelmed, and then you trade this and you get a +1/+1. But that's not gonna happen. That is not going to happen. Let's be honest, okay? No. Okay, not in Constructed. Yep. It can Bible Thump all we like, and that is not gonna be found. In Arena, it's a little bit better, I guess. Because 3 mana 2/2s are actually a thing. Your what's it called? Your oh my god, the rogue card, the silent but deadly Iron Sensei. Yes, the Iron Sensei, your Iron Forge Rifleman, stuff like that. It's fine because your opponent has to kill it. If it doesn't kill it, you actually buff your Yeti, for example, if you curve out. So it's not not the worst, but it's 2 damage. Like 2/2 is like kind of bad. So it's not as bad. But hey, what can I say? Not that terrible in Arena. Alright, and now we got Gachigasm, the Renounce Darkness, the Forcing card. Replace your hero power when you play Warlock, and Warlock cards with another classes. So all your Hellfires and your Void Walkers and your what other Warlock cards are there that's playable? I don't know. Void Walkers, Void Caller is actually rotating out its in-game bosses to something else that costs 1 less, right? Kind of like weird Wild Growth in a way, right? It's kind of a weird Wild Growth if you look at it with the reduction in cost. But the point that it's going to be random cards makes this unplayable constructed. You're not going to be able to choose whether you get good stuff or not, and that's the whole point of Constructed, where you actually have a good deck rather than a random deck. Like if you're going to go to your card collection, suggest a card, auto pick 30 cards. That's not going to be a good Constructed deck. And even with the reduction in cost, does not justify the fact that you are going to play a random class. Right? You are going to play a random hero power that's not life tap. I mean, one of the reasons you are going to play Warlock is life tap. And you can't abuse this too much, right? You can't go like, oh, I'm going to play Sense Demons with no Warlock cards so that I can get 2 imps, and those are Warlock cards. But then you're not playing Warlock cards. So then Renounce Darkness doesn't really work that well anyways. So it's really hard to abuse. When you play this, it's not going to reduce your costs of your BGHs or your Emperor Thorazons and stuff like that. Very, very awkward card. Not going to see play anywhere Constructed. In Arena, I just don't know how to judge this card, man. The only way I can judge this card in Arena is like, would you pick this over other epic cards, right? And epic cards sometimes suck a lot. Right? You are not going to pick your freaking... what's a bad epic card? Like, in Warlock. Or even neutral. There are so many bad epic cards that are like unplayable. But like, it's not better than your Sea Giant. It's like even Validated Doomsayer, right? I would probably pick Validated Doomsayer over this card. because like you cannot guarantee that you have a lot of Warlock class cards, and the fact that it does say that your cards cost 1 less, right, means that you should draft more Warlock cards. Like one argument is like, okay, sure, maybe you just draft like 8 Warlock cards and only play this, affecting 8 cards, so your neutral cards are still good. But then like, why would you do that? Like why would you do that? You want this to affect as many cards as possible. So no, this is kind of bad in Arena too. There's much better picks. I guess you would draft this over like Mountain Giant or something. But you're playing Warlock, you want to tap. So no, you wouldn't draft this over Mountain Giant. What the heck? You would draft this over Anima Golem. Alright? So it's not a grade of 0 or 1 or something like that. You would draft this over Anima Golem for sure. Because Anima Golem sucks. Alright, and now we have 3 legendaries. Oh boy, oh boy. Very, very cool. We got the Boogeymonster! Oh my god, look at his face. His face is actually his stomach. Oh my god. 8 mana, 6/7. Whenever this minion attacks and kills another minion, gain +2/+2. So it's not enough for your opponent to trade into it. If your opponent trades into it, it does not gain +2/+2. You have to initiate the attack, and then it gets +2/+2, which makes this card really bad and constructed. Because when you play a big creature, you always want the option to go face, right? This basically says it cannot attack face. Otherwise, you want to be playing something else instead. No, just like no, right? When you attack something, it has to take damage too. I mean, it's not immune when it's attacking and it kills something, and it doesn't like, you know, refresh itself. Like, just no, right? Like, just no. What is even the Boogeymonster in Warcraft? I haven't heard of this creature. So you open this, you're very happy, you get 400 dust, and then you move on with your life because it's an 8-drop that doesn't do anything till your turn is played, and you also need to trade for something. That is just so bad. In Arena, well, it's pretty bad too, right? I mean, the potential for it to snowball though, it's pretty interesting, right? If you play this and your opponent doesn't play anything, like if your opponent has an empty board, the board is basically yours. You can just keep on trading, this keeps on growing, even better in Priest because you keep on healing it. So it's not bad, but the fact that like it's a 6/7 and like something like a Boulder Fist Ogre can kill it with a hero power. Oh my god, like there's better legendaries you can craft or you can draft. So not as exciting, but like it's still relevant in the fact that it can just steamroll out of proportion. But other than that, no. The fact that this cannot go face is a big minus for me. Sometimes you want to go for the face and you want to race, right? If you play this against a hunter, well, they're just gonna shoot you down. Yeah. Alright, well, the second legendary is not that bad. It's a little bit more exciting. We've got Hallazeal the Ascended. It's actually the Elementium monstrosity in the raid instance, right? In the Cho'Gao raid. I forgot what it's called. Twilight something. Oh man, it's been a while since I played WoW. It's a 5 mana 4/6, okay? So it's a vanilla card. It's a Druid Claw, kind of. With the text of, whenever your spells deal damage, restore damage health to your hero. So you could, for example, change Lightning Bolt into a Bash. Does that make sense, right? You can change Lava Burst into a Holy Fire. But more importantly, you can change Lightning Storm into a Super Heal, because it deals damage to every single creature. You can also change Elemental Destruction, which is the most exciting card of this card, actually, to a Reno, right? You play Hallazeal, you play Elemental Destruction. It's basically a Reno, because it deals damage to your own creatures as well. If it deals damage to 5 creatures, it restores 20 to 25 health. Wow, that is a lot of healing, and that is really good in a Control Shaman. So we're going to give this a pretty promising score of 7 out of 10. Now, the only problem I have with this card is that you have to play Shaman, right? I mean, that's the problem. If you can play it in any class, oh my god, it's going to be so busted. Imagine this in Rogue, man. Holy jeez. But yeah, you have to play Shaman, which is a big disadvantage. We don't know what Shaman cards are, but like, if we're going to continue with the expansions beforehand, Shaman's still gonna suck, right? Everybody thought that Shaman's gonna be insane after the new cards, but I always know that Shaman's gonna suck. So until we see insane cards that change my mind, like even Totem Golem, right? I don't think Totem Golem is gonna change my mind. Totem Golem actually helped the aggro Shaman a lot, but this is not an aggro card. You don't want to restore health to yourself when you smart them. You want to deal more damage, right? If it says your spells deal double damage, then yeah, let's play in Smart Shaman, but this is not a smart card. Yeah, the fact that Elemental Destruction with this card synergizes so well, right? It's at 6 health, it's not at 5, so it doesn't die. It's really, really exciting. So yeah, we'll have to see. In Arena, not bad. I mean, you would draft a 5 mana 4/6, right? You would draft a 5 mana 4/6 is actually pretty good. And the fact that sometimes this actually gets you a win against like mages and hunters gets a little bit of a plus. So yeah. Still not better than your normal legendaries, I guess, like your Karen, your Sylvanas.
Oh no, you didn't.
You know, your Tinkmaster even. Like Tinkmaster's probably better than this card in Shaman because you can hero power Tinkmaster, something like that. But yeah, it's reasonable. Not bad. And finally, oh baby, are you guys ready? The second old god is revealed. We got N'Zoth the Corruptor. Battlecry, summon all your Death Rattle minions that die in this game for 10 mana. Plus, you also get a 5/7. You know, this could have been a spell, and this could have been, like, fine. But no, it is actually a 5/7 creature. It's a creature card. Oh my god. So, imagine you play this in Paladin, right? And you play, like, a Death Rattle-esque card deck with, like, your Cairns and your Sylvanas and your Tyrians. 10 mana summon a Sylvanas, Tyrian, and Cairn? And summon a 5/7 on the board? Now that's pretty damn good. Okay, that is pretty damn good. Whether this is playable for other classes remains to be seen because we're losing Shredder for Standard. We're losing Belcher, we're losing Sky Golem, we're losing Dr. Boom even. So we're just going to give this a 9 out of 10. Not a 10 out of 10 because it really depends on the other cards that are going to be seen. But man, this already has an archetype. It already is playable in Paladin. You get what I mean? Another way to look at this card is kind of like anything can happen. It's like your game ender. It is a little bit not as good as anything can happen in that sense because it's only it's a legendary, so you can only have one of this. But then you'll be playing cards like Sylvanas and Cairn and Tyrion and so instead of like your Murloc War Leaders, right? Like instead of 3 mana 3/3s, you're actually playing good creatures. So in that sense, it's not a disadvantage. It is a disadvantage you can only have one of these, but the advantage is you can actually play good creatures instead. So very, very good, very, very promising. Man, I am excited to see like every single Death Rattle card that's released from now on is gonna be like that much more exciting, right? Man, if you play this in the Feign Death Hunter, that would be so confusing. Oh my god! It's a good thing to note that this card actually works on Sylvanas that got silenced, right? So for example, if they silence your Sylvanas and they kill your Sylvanas, this card is going to work because Sylvanas is a Death Rattle minion, right? It doesn't matter if it got silenced and it died or not. It is a Death Rattle minion. Likewise, it does not work with Explorer's Hat or Raptor, like the Unearthed Raptor. Because Unearthed Raptor gains Death Rattle, it is not a Death Rattle minion, right? It's a Battlecry minion. And Explorer's Hat gives something Death Rattle, so it does not work that way. Soul of the Forest, it also doesn't work with Soul of the Forest. So you cannot do any shenanigans like that. But yeah, we still have enough Death Rattle creatures for this to work well. And of course in Arena, we do not know how this... You don't really know how good this is in Arena. Like, you would pick this first pick by far, right? If you see this as the first pick in draft, you would definitely pick this and see if you Death Rattle creatures at the end. But if you see this at the end, like near the end, you can kind of tell, right? Like, if your deck is no Death Rattle, then obviously you're going to pass this. It's going to be 0 out of 10. Why would you ever play a 10 mana 5/7 vanilla creature, right? If it's in the middle of the draft, oh my god, now let's see how greedy it is. It is a little bit higher than expected. Like, if I were to give this a number in Arena, I would give this like a... I would probably give this like an 8. Because...
Hello, brother.
Because Shredder is still there. Shredder is still in the format in Arena. Belcher is still in the format. Sky Golem is still in the format. Haunted Creeper, Nerubian Egg, stuff like that. That's not found in Constructed. So it's still really, really good. Like, it's gonna appear. Dark Cultist, for example. So yeah, very good card in Arena, I'd say. But then if it comes out late in the draft, you might want to skip this for something more consistent. Say Hogger, for example. Like, Hogger is a little bit more consistent. And there you go. That is the second card review for Whispers of the Old Gods. And we're going to see more cards later. We're gonna do another. I guess we're doing one every 2 weeks now. So remember to check out the channel, subscribe to know when I'm gonna post these videos, and I'm gonna see you in the third one. Priest cards, come on. Priest cards. Alright, see you guys later.